now that we have X32 Edit connected, we're going to come up to setup and we're going to set some parameters here. Now, the difference between 44.1 and 48 is simply the sample rate. Just so you know, CDs are cut at 44.1 at 16-bit. That's why I always use 44.1. The choice is yours. Synchronization you want to internal. Show controls is going to be scenes, panning, left, right, plus mono. General preferences, scenes go next. Do not check this box. If you check this box and you turn off X32 Edit, when you turn it back on, this fader, regardless of where it's at, it's going to turn the volume down automatically. So you're going to look at your fader over here up, and then you're going to go, I'm not getting any sound out. Well, that's why, because you have to uncheck this box. If you have this checked, then you will have to bring this fader all the way down and then bring it back up again every time you start. So the choice is yours. 12 o'clock mode, hard mutes, DCA groups, link preferences, check all these right here. Confirm pop-ups, general, override, delete, scene, preset load, check all of these. Here, we're going to check the use mixer settings. The PC transport control is going to be USB 2-track. Preferences, very important. Okay, bus button names, make sure that's checked, and the DC spill layer jump. And then over here, this is just these windows, if they will stay on top or not. These are the ones that I have checked. MIDI control, we're not going to do anything there. Preamps, we're not going to do anything here. And the card, this is simply showing me what my card is now that I'm connected. Here you have your parameters. I have the SD card, the X Live. But it works the same way with the USB interface here. As you can see, I'm using 32 in and 32 out. This is what we want for Reaper. Now on the SD recording, this is something, if you don't have this card, you'll never see. You'll never have to worry about this. At this point, we're going to take a microphone cable. We're going to plug it into input number 1. And we're going to take and hook it into our microphone. Now for this particular example, I'll be using the Shure SM58. They take a lot of gain. We're going to come up to routing. If you're using the compact, the producer, the rack, the core, we only have these local 16 inputs. This over here is for your stage boxes, your AES-50A, AES-50B. Since I'm running two S16s here that you can see, right now I'm pulling the first 16 inputs from my rack, and I'm pulling the second set of 16 inputs from my first S. If I wanted to use both of these up on stage, then my routing would look like this. If I'm using the full desk and no stage boxes, then my routing would look like this. But for our example, this is the way our routing is going to be. Now, the first thing, guys, and this is a habit you need to get into, I'm going to right mouse click and I'm going to name this Dana. Always label your inputs. I'm going to come down here to bus and matrix. That's what that MTX stands for. I'm just going to highlight it, right mouse click, and I'm going to say Dana. Now look over here to the right, guys. You see where it says Mix Bus 1? This is going to change to Dana. Now, as you can see, I've now labeled these two, so I know that I'm dealing with Dana. So I'm going to come to this channel. I'm going to highlight it, come to the channel. This is my input gain. I'm going to raise this up until this input meter is up around that -18. And right now I'm about 3/4 of an inch away from this microphone. And I've now got signal coming in to the mixer. Now, if I want this to come out of the mains, as you can see, there's no output right here. So as I bring this fader up, I'm bringing the signal up with it. Now, if you look over here on the right, you'll see we're now getting signal coming in through our master fader. If we look up here at our meters, and we go to ins and outs, we can see that channel 1 input, this is the mic we're speaking on now, is coming out, and it's coming out of outputs 8 and 16. Remember now, bus 1, this is my inner monitoring system. So we can see it's coming over here to the monitor, so our signal path is just fine. So now if I come over here and I click on Dana, I am now going to send this signal to output number 1, XLR output number 1. That is my bus. And I raise up my fader, and now I'm sending signal to that output. So if we come back to the meters, we can now see that my output, number 1, that is my bus. Now, up here in routing, out 1 through 16, by default, if you're on a rack, this is your outputs. It's going to be 7 and 8 for your main left and right. If you are using the full-size desk, then it's going to be 15 and 16. And we can check this and verify this with our meters. Now our outputs are 15 and 16 right there. And that is regulated by this master fader right here. As you can see, the signal still coming into my bus. Okay, and there's a very important step that we need to do here. If we click on my mic input and we come up to sends, we want to make sure that my mix bus is set to pre-fader. And as you can see, they already are. And that's all you need to know. You now have signal running through your system from your input to your output. God bless, and we are out of here.